Ah, my erstwhile companion. You look remarkably coherent. Most mortals caught in a Daedric tempest would suffer some lasting effects. I'm impressed. Baffled, but impressed. Already? I expected him to wait at least a week before summoning me. Seal's concept of time bears only a faint resemblance to our own. You should set out. I'll be along shortly. You didn't, though. Bully for you. In truth, I sought an alternate route to the throne. Through the Everglow. Unfortunately, Nocturnal detected my presence immediately. One of the few burdens of near-divine power. I'm difficult... Trapped? No. Impeded, perhaps. Fortunately, Nocturnal's attention turned to you and the good Proctor when you defeated the Shadow. It gave me the opportunity to pinpoint the object of her fury. You. I followed her to taking it all in, I suppose. Surely you won't begrudge me a moment of vulnerability. This place... it is something. I sense that I won't return anytime soon. One can only marvel at a rival's triumphs for so long before that awe turns to resentment. And I have no time for petty jealousy. I have plans of my own. Countless. Yeah!
Thank you both for coming.
Of course, old friend. You seem troubled. More troubled than usual, I mean.
Perceptive as always. I do not wish to diminish your achievement, but Nocturnal's defeat here will be short-lived. What's more, she does not act alone. A third enemy looms at the edge of my sight. Their covetous eyes are now fixed on the Somerset Isles.
Then we should inform the rest of the Sijiks. They'll need to prepare.
I will inform them personally. I have a separate task for you, Deveth. Take the skeleton key. Keep it hidden for as long as you can. I trust that this task pleases you. After all, your love of such trinkets is what brought you here in the first place.
Sometimes I wonder if you see too much. I will keep it safe.
Farewell, Deveth. We will not meet again. I haven't visited this memorial for centuries, but even I need reminders every now and again. Do you like this place? It took me the better part of a decade to perfect it. Every stone and flower tells a story. Tales of how things were, how they ought to be. I thought about destroying it on more than one occasion, I know. Ask, and you expect something grand. But I promised you the truth. I am only what time and circumstance made me. Son of a lost house, friend to a fallen king. Some will tell you that we are the product of our choices. I've never found that to be the case. I am whatever the people need me to be. A guardian, an oppressor. For some, too distant. For others, too meddlesome. I am the canvas upon which they paint their dreams and resentments. A vessel for their hopes and doubts. A mirror, nothing more. I don't. But my companions, Vivek and Almalexia, see their divinity as essential. Godhood brings them joy and purpose. They find meaning in the theatrical. Who am I to deprive them of that? Almalexia defies simple analysis. I doubt she could even describe herself accurately. To understand Almalexia, you must first understand the value of fiction. Vivek fancies himself the poet, but in truth, AM is the greatest storyteller. Vivek knows the boundaries that separate fact from fiction. He knows them so well that he's learned how to break them. He exists inside his verse, but recognizes the lies, the contradictions. He both does and does not believe his own tales. She believes her tales implicitly, as does everyone else. Her capacity for deception appears limitless. She sows lies like a master gardener, sows not in the slightest. As I said, we are, all of us, bound by our nature. Almalexia does what she does because she cannot do otherwise. It will not end well. But then, even the best endings rarely bring joy. Vivek is my brother. He knows my struggles and I know his. That knowledge makes our relationship complicated. To truly know someone is as much a curse as it is a blessing. Regret. We are bound by that at least. He also suffers a kind of enslavement. Not unlike my own, in fact. Beauty holds the keys to his shackles. Beauty and a love of great works, great heights. His appetites are insatiable, thus his despair. Yes, a poet's despair. Vivek craves writable freedom, the death of all limits and restrictions. He wishes to be all things at all times. Every race, every gender, every hero, both divine and finite. But in the end, he can only be Vivek. Not even remotely. I sometimes ask myself the same thing. May I confess something to you? I suffer from a peculiar ailment. Shall I describe it? I bear the cruel weight of certainty. Total, absolute, relentless certainty. People rarely comprehend the luxury of doubt, the freedom that comes with indecision. I envy you. Indeed, but such questions are flaccid, cursory indulgences that come and go in an instant. The truth is that my actions, both good and evil, are inevitable, locked in time, determined by chains of action and consequence. Compelled. This city serves a noble goal. The redemption of Tamriel. The unification of competing forces. The destruction of the Daedra. Unfortunately, it is an endeavor built upon a lattice of corpses. Betrayal, maybe. The word I covet above all others. Hold to that word, my friend, and never let go. I instructed Devaith to run from the battle that is to come. Now, I urge you to run toward it. Long ago I brokered a truce with the princes of Oblivion. This pact bound 8 princes to an oath that they would never again set foot on Tamriel. Nocturnal was not present when the princes signed the Cold Harbor Compact. Thus she flouts its restrictions. Now, this is important. Nocturnal does not act alone. 2 other princes lie in wait. Clavicus Vile and Mafala. Defeated? Forgive my candor, but Clavicus Vile cannot be defeated through force of arms. Neither can Mafala. I have preparations to make outside my clockwork realm. You must stay vigilant. Take heed of any Daedric incursions and stand ready to fight. The prisoner wields great power, making reality of metaphor. We will need you before the end. A fool's hope, perhaps. I should explain. Look around you. All of this exists because it must exist. I stand here, in this place, in this moment, not because I wish to, but because I have to. A result of action, clever, but incorrect. The prisoner must apprehend 2 critical insights. First, they must face the reality of their imprisonment. They must see the determinative walls, the chains of causality that bind them to their course. I have, but I fall short of the second insight. The prisoner must see the door to their cell. They must gaze through the bars and perceive that which exists beyond causality, beyond time. Only then can they escape. I see only unsteady walls. If the people of Tamriel must exist inside this cell, I will make sure that the walls are stable, the gaps are sealed. Indeed, compel, maybe. I've met few heroes like you. Very few. I take this matter of the Triad upon myself, but in truth, you may be the one that saves us. The prisoner who frees the world. We shall see. Farewell.
He's gone, isn't he? I knew it. I never got to speak to him. Can you believe that? 100 years of loyal service and then, poof, gone. You know, I spent years rehearsing exactly what I would say. Now I have nothing but questions. Why do we study in the Basilica while people struggle in the streets? Why can't we have birds like the I did yesterday? Today, I'm not so sure. I have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of assumptions to challenge. You have my gratitude, truly. Uncertainty feels liberating. The world's never seemed so open, so fresh, you know? I sense a new adventure just beginning. Thank you, my friend, and farewell. I think I'll visit the memorial for a while. It seems as good a place as any to be alone with my thoughts.
Rating 94%.
Take a look around. Queen Irene's decree was supposed to open Somerset to others, but the High Elves don't so much as look at us half the time.
Mar, an adventurer? Oh, praise you, Mara, for hearing my prayers. Please, newcomer, I'm desperate for help. My son, Arathel, has gone missing. No one will tell me what happened to him. Yes, I'm sorry. The last time I saw him, he was agitated, scared. I asked him what was wrong, but he left without a word. The guards arrived later. They said he turned himself in, that he was involved in a plot to kill our sapiarch. No, he vanished. They say he escaped. Can you believe it? Why would he turn himself in only to escape a few hours later? They're hiding something, I know it. Please, Caraval, help me find... You have a perfect heart, newcomer. None of my neighbors would lift a finger to help me. The guards placed Arathel in a cell beneath the Kin Lady's manor. I'm told the Justiciar of Remand is there now, a mer named Telerion. He must know something. No, Icantar treats us like family. Arathel is Icantar's apprentice, you see? He was so proud when the attestation came through. He's been a bit withdrawn, though. Right. You're new to the Isle. I apologize. Apraxic Mer, a people who, for whatever reason, were expelled from the greater Elven community. Most Aprax labor for years to re-enter society. Others choose to remain in exile. I feel very sorry for them. Some do, yes. Treatises on class warfare, religious hypocrisy, that sort of thing. A lot of young Mer take a liking to it. I think it's healthy to push back a bit. Not too much, of course, but a bit. Rumor has it that a famous Aprax called the Mother of Rats lives in the city, but I've never met her. And even if I did, we're forbidden from speaking with her. Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? It's just the way...
Comrade, it is good.
Somerset, oh Somerset, our fair and pretty land is threatened from beyond a clear and shining sea. The welkin our griffin knights take wing and make us swords and bows,
This manor is closed by order of the Divine Prosecution, so I'll keep this brief. Who are you, and what do you want? By Sir Abane's ring, will I never be rid of that hen? Look, turning away grieving mothers brings me no satisfaction, but this situation is delicate. The Divine Prosecution does not lose prisoners. Ever. Certainly not frightened children like Arathel. Not here, clearly. You really do mean to track him down, don't you? Fine. When we took Arathel into custody, he was only carrying a handful of coin, a tin flute. Our draftsman drew up a few copies for distribution to the bailiffs. They're stacked upstairs near the hearth. You can take one if you wish, with this condition. If you find something, you will bring it to my attention immediately. It seems he escaped into the vaulted Halsoriel. The sewer. Gods, what a hideous word. Anyway, he had help. That gaping hole in the wall is obviously quite new. Might have been a convention. So you would ask my name without offering your own? No, don't bother. I've grown to expect these clumsy... Spilling wine on your vest at a dinner party is embarrassing. This is... Frankly, there isn't a word in the comment. That's a matter for the High Justiciar and the safe...
An overgrown weed. I don't mean to forebode, but charge, O Griffin Knights.
This one wishes she never came to this land of pretension and overbearing ordinances. Who knew there could be so many rules? Makes me want to drink my stock dry, but then what? Ah, for that one you must...
I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm working. So, jog on. It didn't instruct you to do anything. That note was meant for someone else. Of course, you already know that. So, should I reach for my knife or... Huh. So, Talarian and his lackeys haven't found him either, huh? Color me surprised. I tried to help the kid, but if he didn't even find my note... he's in worse... Yeah, the Mother of Rats is our matriarch. She shelters us outcasts and misfits. Loves us, even. In her way. If you aim to help Arethel, she'll want to meet you first. There's an entrance to the sewers down by the docks. Just follow the rats. Name's Edgar Jend. Professional misfit, ne'er-do-well, and sometimes hatchet man. Mother sends me out to collect lost things. And people. I've got to tell you, this whole Arethel thing, it's giving me indigestion. I have a delicate constitution. That's a question for Mother.
I'm hoping to get a passage to Lalandril soon. I've heard the College of Sapiens.
Right here.
Under pregnant golden sail, my star-eyed bride of Alan.
These potions really stink. Wonder what's in them.
You're taking a risk coming down here, you know. If those surfacers know you're talking...
Everything about this place is great, except for the food. What I wouldn't give for a mammoth steak right now.
Well, well, you made it. You'll forgive me if I don't stand to greet you. I have a thing about social niceties. My spies told me you were coming, but neglected to say why. You're a recent arrival to the Isle, yes? I'm intrigued. Ah, Arathel, the reluctant idealist. Yes, I know a bit. He's a friend of ours. I heard he was in a spot of trouble, so I sent a few of my children to collect him. Unfortunately, he bumbled his way into a prison cell. That was... we had nothing to do with it. That boy has run afoul of some very dangerous people, and they're not about to let him go. Arathel's a valuable commodity down here. He's young. Well, he wasn't lying. A rival of mine, Miralon, swept Arathel away from us. Lured him in with promises of adventure. Convinced him that killing the Sapiarch would start a revolution. Of course, the boy got cold feet. Now they have him. No, but I know someone who does. I sent one of my children to keep an eye on Miralon's operation. A Khajiit named Zonhai. He'll know where the boy's kept. Explore the tunnels west of here. You'll find Zonhai. Or more likely, he'll find you. I'm the mother of rats. You know that already. Are you looking for an autobiography or something? Speak plainly. That's fair, I guess. I'm what the Clods and the Kinhouses call an apraxic, an elf criminal. There are other high elf misfits called ousters, but the fortunes of an apraxic are a little more severe. I forged a document. Well, the ensuing dispute sent 43 myrrh to the funeral pyre. It was a patent of lineage, you see. Kinlords take that sort of thing very seriously. Insufferable. Anyway, they shattered my Callion, my praxic talisman, and sent me packing. For the most foolish reason of all, love. Hilarious, right? Anyway, everyone here knows my past, but they accept me as I am. They even look to me for leadership, as if they need it. Hierarchy's a bad joke, Kabram. Remember that. Well enough. He's young, which is to say he's bullheaded and self-righteous. Good for a laugh, if nothing else. He came looking for relief from the strictness, you know? All the rules and expectations. They can drive an elf mad. 50 years of exile has taught me many, many things. But the most important lesson is this. Anyone is capable of anything. A snot-nosed kin would murder his most beloved dog with a shovel if you gave him a good enough reason. Clearly, he didn't, and I thank the fates for that. Arathel wouldn't make it a week as an Aprax. Too much of a people person. It's lucky for us, too. If someone killed the Sapiarch, we'd be blamed. Guaranteed. Miralon's a recent arrival. He's not an Aprax or an ouster, but he tries to act the part. I've twisted more arms than I can count, trying to find out where he's from, but so far I have very little to show for it. That's why Zonhai's where he is. Because killing the Sapiarchs will provoke that elusive revolution we're all supposed to be pining for. The Sapiarchs, the Divine Prosecution, the Ascendants. They're masters of a deranged system of oppression. Who wouldn't want? Of course not. Revolutions are just fairy tales for idiot children. Killing a Sapiarch will do nothing but bring the Divine Prosecution down on our heads. The more I learn about Miralon, the more I think that might be exactly what he wants.
finally got organized. Maybe now we'll get something done.
Just keep saying that.
Only for a few days.
Will you at least come with me?
I want to, my love, but I still have much to do. Who's this now?
One of your friends from Mother's Den? Please, Sanhai, be quick.
Not too sure about that Miralon guy yet.
Zanhi does not wish to fight you, Walker. But he will if he must. You will speak your business, yes? If you were a friend to these Black Wake thugs, you would already know. This one will tell you what he found, but you must act quickly. Miralon plucked Arathel from his cell and brought him here. He means to bend the boy's mind. He claimed the caverns ahead. But the way is guarded by more Black Wake warriors, and worse. This elf is more than he seems, Walker. He is a spellweaver who consorts with Daedra. Miralon wields magics that Zanhi has never seen before. Spells that twist good elves' brains and make them dance to the caster's rhythm. Arathel refused to kill the Sapiarch, but this one thinks, given enough time, Hedani was taken in by the Black Wake's lies. The Mother of Rats sent me to spy on Miralon, but in truth, I came here to rescue my love. She was. If Miralon bends the boy, Arathel, and makes him kill the Sapiarch, the elf guards will storm this place.
This is for the greater good. Just keep saying that.
Seems like such a nice city. It's just not down here.
Too sure about that Miralon guy yet. Forward was after the Sapiarch. So the Rat Queen sends her vermin to destroy.
not one of them, are you? Sorry, as soon as I saw an opening, I took off running. I didn't even see that drop. Honestly, I'm lucky to be alive. For the moment, at least. Oh, that's 2 mothers that will want my head. All right, I'll follow. At a
Easy, guardsmen. This boy's under our protection.
All of you, quiet! Have a word with our mutual friend, Talarian. If you want the truth, that is.
So, it's you. When you didn't return, I assumed you had abandoned your search. What are you doing here? Ah, the oft-used "a wizard made me do it" defense. It's an excuse I've heard before. It seems this Miralon played a role in a much wider conspiracy. Troubling. I will take this to my superiors. As for the boy, he can go free. For now. A word of advice. Avoid these urchins and apraxics. They are nothing but trouble.
So, you found our lost sheep. Well done. As you can see, I sent for Arathel's mother. She won't speak to me, of course, but she seems appreciative enough. Perhaps this will be a teachable moment for the both of them. Difficult to say. The fact that he's been fraternizing with Apraxics won't reflect well on him. But at least you proved he's not a murderer. That's something, right? You've done far more than rescue a stray high elf, Karam. Take this, and my thanks.
Take notice, sewer dwellers. I know where you are. Keep your affairs in order, or our next encounter will be far less pleasant.
Thank you so much for finding Arathel. Bless you.
Oh, I think I might want to be an adventurer too.
No, you've had quite enough adventure for one lifetime.
I don't know what to say other than thank you. The Sapiarchs may expel me for all this, but that's something I can live with. People in high places don't have all the answers. The mother of rats taught me that. So did you.
Once again, you have my deepest thanks, Caraval. I don't know what I would have done if they'd taken my boy.
Sapiarch will loosen his grip on us, or we will make him.
Please, I was once like you. I am desperate.
You there. Do something useful and come help me. Don't just stand there. Help me. I can't do this by myself. A dark entity called Keturah set a trap for a group of adventurers. It locked them in their own minds. I've established a mental link with... Let me attune you to my spell. There. Now we're connected through my mental link. Find the 3 adventurers, Kanar, Grog, and Maria. When you examine them, the spell should take you into their individual mind traps. I can direct... Kanar should be our first priority. Though don't tell him I said that. We approach deeper inside the ruins. Really? That's your question? Oh, very well. I am Oriandra, a member of an ancient order of sages and magic users. I'm a member of the Sijic Order. But we don't have time for me to explain. Kanar and the others will appear to be in a deep sleep. Hard to say. This kind of magic, not very much, I'm afraid. I can sense a dark presence, but I can't quite identify who or what this Keturah may be. I sense that the entity is ancient. I've established a link with the 3 adventurers. It allows me to slow the progress of the mind.
What do you want?
Kynar should be our first priority. Deeper inside the ruin. Good. The link is working perfectly. There's Kynar. You need to convince him that this is all an illusion.
The magic that went into creating this mind trap is truly remarkable. An opportunity to learn something new comes along so rarely in the realm of arcane. Rescue? Why in the world would I need to be rescued? I'm perfectly fine. In fact, I'm learning a great deal about mind. I've come to the conclusion that this mental magic operates much like a disease that attacks the mind. To prove my theory, I want you to collect samples. I'll continue to review these fascinating tomes while you collect samples of the mind magic particles. Between the two, nothing important gets accomplished without some acidic. Me? By the stars, no. Oriandra and I met while she was conducting some bit of research or another. We've maintained this. Look for clouds of strange glowing particles. What? What does it matter? They're books full of information and knowledge waiting to be absorbed.
Kynar, listen to me.
Why are you in my head?
There's no time for research. You need to get out of there.
And you need to ask permission before interrupting someone's thoughts.
Hurry before the mind trap snaps shut.
The mage is caught in my mind trap, worm. Nothing you do will change that.
Well done. Now return to Kynar and convince him to wake up.
These are perfect. Exactly what I needed. Now I can use these to... How dare you speak to me like that? I have a good mind to turn you into... a good mind. My apologies. I almost allowed this trap to drown me. Thank you. I'll see myself to safety. You need to rescue the others.
Grog is close. Strange. I don't sense Katora's dark power though.
I think he resisted the mind trap on his own, but he's still unconscious.
Wake him up, please.
Hey! That wasn't just water.
No matter. It worked, didn't it?
They wonder why I drink so much.
Focus, Grog. Make your way back to Kynar and me.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
I've got Grog. You go find Maria.
There's Maria. Be careful in there. I sense her mind trap is nearly complete.
Remember to keep your cowl low, Maria. Stay out of trouble. Be invisible. Survive. I will, Mama. Mama!
Maria's losing herself. Find items she holds dear and help her remember.
I offer you a place with us. A home, a family, if you promise to serve.
I promise, Speaker. Show me the way.
These memories represent turning points in Maria's life. The choices that made her who she is. Help her remember.
What matters is that you found your way back, Maria. You are an excellent student, and your mother would be proud of the person you've become.
Stay back. I can't remember who I am or what happened to me. These items, I remember them. Each one represents a person who influenced me. I feel like I'm swimming toward the surface of a still lake, like I'm emerging from a dark cave. This place, it isn't real.
That was disorienting. Kynar, bring Maria here, please.
If you insist. I'm not fully recovered yet, though, so this is probably my last spell for a while.
Just do it. Our friend can return on...
Coriandra!
Katora's mind trap. I set it off.
What's wrong with her?
I think she's caught in a mind trap.
I guess I'll need to cast another spell after all. There! I've re-established the mind link.
Listen closely. I've maintained our link, but just barely. I used the ring to anchor part of myself to you. When the mind trap sends my darker aspects against you, kill them. That will destroy the mind trap and set me free. Trust me, it's the only way. My mind, it's coming apart. My darkest aspects, you need to destroy them. Such anger, such hatred. I'm free. Use Kynar's link, and I'll see you in the waking world.
Oriandra, she's awake.
That's it. No more mind magic for me.
That was totally exhausting. Thank you for trusting me. This particular danger has passed, but I will alert my colleagues in the Psijic Order to be on their guard. I suggest that you and these others remain vigilant as well. In the meantime...
1,000 gratitudes for aiding us.
What about the mind traps? There might be more still out there.
Sounds like a task we could dig our teeth into, my friends.
Indeed. I prefer to be the hunter instead of the prey.
We'll find Keturah. You can count on that. We've been adventuring long enough to know our capabilities.
The quality of ale and wine available in this palace is absolutely amazing. I may move it.
I look forward to hunting down Keturah and introducing the foul creature to the sharp.
We can regale the court with tales of how Paradan bravely wrestled 7 volumes to the ground. He'll have the paper cut.
I wait, I'll count more Indrix between these pages than you'll find all day. Please, excuse... A good question. Hunting, ostensibly. If you ask my compatriots, books have more interesting things to say. And in the unlikely event that we do stumble across our prey, I would like to know what we are up against. At least someone is interested in learning. I read that Indrix can travel between 2 places in a flash, making them elusive targets. It seems the hunt must go on. Please excuse me.
Didn't those idiots ever learn how to run? Whoa, hey! What are you doing in this neck of the woods? Not that you don't have a right to be here, that is. It's just, well, a griffin nesting ground doesn't tend to be the best place for a stroll. Me? Why, I just got a little lost, is all. I would have left already if not for my friends. We were Really? I have to warn you, the griffins in there are quite nasty. If you find my companions, let them know to meet me by the way shrine, right down the road. And don't worry, I won't run off before you get... We were on our way to Cloudrest, but must have made a wrong turn. Somehow we ended up within this nesting ground. Of all the luck. The way I see it, they're either dead or hiding. If they're dead, make sure to search their pockets, all right?
I haven't run that hard. That root ass best still be by the road.
I can't believe I was nearly pecked. Oh, I'll go back to Mirinel, all right, and give her a piece of my mind.
will break you in half! My army will never halt its march, land dweller!
Ifra be praised. I can't believe you were able to pull that off. You're something else. You did. Well, I'll be taking that. Wouldn't want it to go to waste after all. Thanks again for... We'll head to Cloudrest as soon as my companions have time to rest. What? I mean... Oh, all right. After all, you did save these drag heels. We actually... Someone hired us to grab some is all. Not sure why. Griffins aren't easy to come by, though, outside of Somerset. Perhaps our buyer plans to sell the eggs somewhere off the island. A venture that is not, far as I know. Of course. It's always a good practice to keep such transactions under wraps. For all I know, you'd have run off and told the divine prosecution. I wouldn't go tattling now, though. After all, you were the one who handed me the egg.
I really need to start exercising more. Though, you would think someone in my line of work would be used to running by now.
This is the last time I try to pull off one of Mirinel's harebrained schemes.
Realist the 12th is an embarrassment and an abomination.
A traveler. Don't see many wanderers out here near the Acropolis. Best give it a wide berth. There's a curse on this place. I didn't believe it at first, but once you hear that ghostly shriek... Ah, I see it, that look in your eye. You mean to go in there and break the curse of the Direni Acropolis, don't you? Some folks say she was an innocent girl, buried alive by an evil sister. Others say she was a necromancer, put to the sword. Who knows? If you manage to run her off, you'll be doing all of Somerset a favor. Just don't expect us to go in after you. So, you're really going to look into this, yes? Ifra's bones if you adventurers aren't a peculiar bunch. I've got no orders to keep you out. Not many grave robbers dumb enough to loot this place. No offense. Anyway, it's been nice knowing you. I often ask myself the same question. Should have followed my mother's advice and learned a trade. Cobbling, maybe. I would have been a fine cobbler. Honestly, I have no idea. So far, we haven't seen any skeleton. You are yanking my ear, right? Everyone knows the Direni. They're one of the oldest, most powerful clans in Aldmeric history. They founded the Direni hegemony. Good question. Mara knows I'd never settled in that man and beast-infested... Sorry. Honestly, I really couldn't say. Some think it was exile, others that they were following their destiny to become... Indeed. It's an ancient, weather-worn island in Iliac Bay. I've never been myself, but they say the Great Direni Tower is so tall you could see it from the shores of Glenumbra. What, cursed? For as long as anyone can remember. But the latest unpleasantness started a few months ago. It used to be that you'd just hear... Now the place is packed with undead beasts and vengeful...
The seal, the key. Take them. We must keep her locked away. Do not let her escape.
A keeper? No. No, an intruder. Did you not hear the shrieks? The groaning admonitions? This is a cruel and... Who am I? I was called L'Oreal. But in truth, I am sorrow given voice. I haven't the heart to speak it aloud. I can only bear the pain through song. Even now, all these long centuries... You carried the Keeper's golden seal. There is another. A crimson seal. It is close. I sense its presence. My jailers. Sons and daughters of the Direni, sworn to keep me imprisoned here. I no longer sense their presence. That gives me some small relief at least. Did you not hear me? The sorrow robs me of my breath. I can only bear to tell you in song. I am sorry. Hear ye my tale of sisters two, bound by love and joy. the younger remained, alone with her tomes and her heartache. At length the caller came to the gates of the Direni, a fellow traveler on sorrow's road, with dark wisdom on his lips.
Behold, the Crimson Keeper. Keep to the oath, Seal-bearer. Do not believe her lies. She is not what she seems. Don't listen. Her words are poison.
Is twisted. She deserves this fate.
Listen, her words are poison.
Her heart is twisted. She deserves this fate. All her heart's doors closed and locked. The sister's power grew. Her gold eyes fixed on graves and tombs, the necromancer's muse. At length the eldest did return, flush with arcane might. She found her sisters, undead thralls, and wept long at the sight, knowing death could not contain her sister's newfound power. The eldest and her dear kin buried me alive, here screaming into the black.
Look at what her power wrought. Lock her away!
You found me. At last. Do you see what they did to me? What they are all still doing? Is a younger... You see my prison now. This circle of braziers. The Keepers would have you relight these fires to whip me back into silence. But I beg you, take up the Keeper's flame and burn my corpse. Without my body, the direct... It's as I said in my song. My sister and I were inseparable. Different sides of a single coin, my uncle used to say. Eventually, she set out to study with the Magisters on the Isle of Balfiera. I was left here, alone. I struggled with my craft, falling further and further behind. Eventually, I found a mentor, a black-clad sorcerer who taught me the dark arts, necromancy. I took to it like a sparrow to the wind. Eventually, my power rivaled that of my sister. Yes. She found my mentor and I weaving spells over the corpses of our ancestors. She struck my mentor dead with a killing word, then wrapped me in searing chains. My sister wept when our kin rendered the sentence, that I would be buried alive. No. She carried out the sentence herself. Her face was the last thing I saw before they closed the lid. The Direni feared what I would become if they executed me outright. She did what she was expected to do. I have nothing more to say.
I would return to that coffin. I would go back to screaming and forever. Or until some other kind soul burned my corpse prison. You followed me and listened. The keepers marked my body with runes of restraint before they locked me in the tomb. After I expired, my soul tried to escape. But even now, centuries later, I am tethered. Would you ask a caged meadowlark what it would do? It would fly free, feel the sun, revenge upon whom? The elves that locked me away are long dead. Dead and gone, only their tombs remain. Their tombs and their descendants. We arrive at the moment of choice. Please, use the Keeper's flame on my remains and set me free. No! Why would you? Ah! I trusted you. You're just like them! Just like my family! Curse you! I won't go back! I won't! I'll kill you all!
Join up! See all of Somerset. Never pictured all of Somerset being some bleak, haunted ruin.
Ah, you're back. Sorry if I seem surprised. Honestly, I wrote you off as dead. Well, thank goodness for that. I did notice the sky cleared up a bit. Maybe I'll finally be able to go home.
Did you hear that?
It sounded angry and hurt.
I hope I never have to go in there.
Likewise. The fog may have cleared out, but this place still gives me the creeps.
You stood among the standing stones of Tanzel well. Ariel be
Honor and praise. I'm glad the stars saw fit to see our paths cross again, my friend. Cloudrest's recovery has been going smoothly, with the help of my order. It'll take time, but I can already see... As well as can be expected, given what we've been through. Still, everyone seems to have recovered. Sororia said that if she had to stay another minute begging the nobles for funds, what else? They're not particularly pleased with this whole embarrassment. That's exactly how they refer to it, too. An embarrassment. They'd rather ignore Cloud... Oh, I'll get that funding, all right. One way or another. Maybe next meeting I'll bring Dare along. Try to scare some sense into those bureaucrats. Actually, that's not a half-bad idea. Honor and...
This is what dealing with High Elf nobles gets. Please, you must help. I think my cousin Brengus has been captured by werewolves. Brengus got caught up in a love affair, see? Decided to run off with some High Elf named Nirelin. I was supposed to meet them in Archon's Grove, help them get off the island. But when I got... Yes, I'm sure of it. I couldn't find them anywhere. I did meet a High Elf named Estadel. He would...
I must say, I've just had the most dreadful day. First, my betrothed runs off with some wood elf, and then she manages to get kidnapped by werewolves. At this rate, my reputation may never recover. To think Nirelin would put me in such a position. What do I care about Brengus? Honestly, I'd rather leave the two lovebirds to their fate. But if word got out that I left Nirelin to die, or if she managed to escape and actually marry that wood elf, suffice to say, I can't just leave her. Well, I'm certainly not risking my life. You have the look of a ruffian. Want to take on the task? If you collect Nirelin, or at least what's left of her, I'll make sure you're paid handsomely. Oh, and you could save Brengus as well, I suppose. Excellent. Once you've finished, meet me near the Mages Guild in Shimmerine. Of course, discretion is key here. I want no word getting out about this little incident, not even to common folk. Rumors do tend to spread. Do you know how long this marriage arrangement has been underway? Decades. Decades worth of work, all gone if Nirelin smears her name through wood elf muck. Why, I'd rather suffer 1,000 cuts than such a wound to my reputation. Oh, well, of course, you wouldn't know, given your race. High elves take marriage most seriously. A matchmaker must be contacted to research the couple's star charts, pedigree documents, that sort of thing. It's a lengthy process. Excuse me? Well, sorry that we don't take marriage as a fast and loose affair. Marriage, as in all things, must be as impeccable as possible. Family, physicality, all those things must be taken into account. Otherwise, it's just chaos. Disorder. I feel as though I told you plenty, haven't I? It's a private matter. If she's alive, just remind her of her obligations. We can still make this little fling disappear, even after this mess. Naturally, pending death, there's no honorable way to cancel now. It's best just to be discreet. After all, I can't have everyone knowing my betrothed ran off with someone of another race. Ah, no offense meant, of course.
Didn't you all hear me? I want to be left alone! You smell like one of them, but different. You're a werewolf, but not of this pack. I'm not sure how I know that, but I just do. You need to leave now. It's far too dangerous here. They've already killed Brengus, and it's too late for me.
Estidel. I thought I heard him whimpering earlier.
I told you, it's already too late. I've been turned. There's no place in Somerset society for a werewolf. I'm doomed to live out the rest of my cursed existence as an outcast. What other choice do I have? I was miserable with Estidel, and I thought Brengus was my one chance to escape, to leave that life behind. He was going to protect me, and in the end, he couldn't even protect himself. No, I can't live like this, serving the very beasts who took everything away from me. Just end it, please. I'd rather die than be miserable. You can take my signet ring. That will prove to Estidel that you found my corpse. Well, I have always been good at controlling myself. I had to be. But still, where would I be going back to? Estidel? A loveless marriage with a mer I hate? I don't know if I could stand that. You know, you're right. Ever since I was turned, I feel stronger, bolder. I don't need to marry Estidel if I don't want to. And I certainly don't have to live in the woods to make that choice. I'll end it, one way or another.
There you are. Quickly, over here. Well, were you able to find Nirelin? Or at least, whatever those werewolves left of her? I see. Well, at least I won't have to begin my marriage negotiations anew. As long as Nirelin's willing to put this incident behind her, all will be well. Here's your payment for a task well completed and your discretion.
I've returned, Estadel, and I've reflected on my actions.
I suppose nearly getting yourself killed will do that. I'm just glad you finally came to your senses.
Yes, of course. Dearest, tell me. Our wedding day, weren't we told the moons would be full?
Why, yes. A most auspicious sign, the priests told us.
Oh, yes. Most auspicious indeed. I very much look forward to it. I trust you to keep my little secret. And who knows? Maybe we'll see each other again. Somewhere deep within the woods.
Let's just hope my betrothed has learned a lesson from all of this. It certainly doesn't pay to go running around with the first vagabond who shows interest.
Lotus? You've picked a bad day for a stroll in the park. Something's got into the animals. They're running wild, frenzied. I don't suppose you saw an Indrik on your way here, a tame one? She's my charge, and pride of the Queen's menagerie. I need to find her. The Royal Menagerie. It holds exotic species from all over Tamriel. Now they're running loose, attacking the keepers and each other. It's a slaughter. It's too dangerous for a gentle Indrik like Lotus. Please, can you help me search for her? Oh, Lotus has only ever known kindness. Gentle as a lamb. I hand-reared her from birth. She fled in the chaos, but she won't make it on her own. I have to find Lotus before she's hurt. Or worse. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't have wandered far. I hope. I wasn't at the epicenter of it all. I was about to feed Lotus when I started hearing the animals in a frenzy, yowling and slamming against their pens. Once the mammoths broke free, the whole place came apart at the seams. Total pandemonium. Indriks vaguely resemble deer, but you'd never mistake the two. Their horns and antlers sparkle like crystal, and their fronds and feathers are vibrant in any light. When Jeffers spun their shape, he made a tapestry of all life. I raised her from a fawn, watched her grow up. I can't imagine losing her this way. And the Queen would never forgive me. She and Lotus were inseparable, until the duties of the crown called her away. I made a vow to care for Lotus in her stead. A gift from the sovereign to his daughter when she was barely knee-high. Before she became queen, Her Highness spent many a day frolicking through the royal menagerie with Lotus. Hard to imagine now, I know. I didn't see anyone else come this way, but I hope the others made it to safety. I'd rather not dwell on the alternative. If anyone's still in peril, we should lend our aid. On these trees. Look around and let me know if you find anything. What did you find there? I don't see any sign of her here. Did you find anything? Stars! I've seen wild mammoths charge the enclosure walls, but they usually give up pretty quickly. I've never seen one driven to battering itself to death. Not by anger, not even... That would be an explanation, but it came on so suddenly. It seemed to afflict all the animals at once. Except Lotus. She was spooked, but not aggressive. Right. Let's head further inside. Maybe we can pick up a trail. Find something? I don't see any new tracks. She didn't try returning to the enclosure. Huh, let me see that. Smells... off. I've never seen an animal react so violently to spoiled food, and nothing this tainted would have passed our inspections. No, it couldn't be. We care for these animals like they were our kin. No one I know would harm one of these poor creatures. No, thank the gods. I just deposited it here when the trouble started. I don't think she'd graze on any now that it's become foul. Did you hear that? Someone's in trouble. This way! Elise, what are you still doing here?
Thought I was a goner. Those lions crept up. Those lions crept up on me while I was distracted. Thought I was done for. Who are you, Annie? He came back to find Lotus? I know he takes his duty seriously, but that's insane. I think I saw her drinking by the reflecting pool, but she's skittish. No thanks. I appreciate the help, but I'm not sticking around to herd Indriks in this. Good luck with your Indrik hunt, Talamar. Try not to get killed.
Elise, wait! We need to stay together! Damn it. Let's hope we have better luck with Lotus. So much for enlisting the help of other keepers. Sorry, didn't seem the time for an introduction. Elise is one of the junior keepers. She really cares for the animals, but she's only got about 10 years under her belt. She shouldn't be working alone. Must have gotten separated from her tutor. Of course, with some talented exceptions, the average apprenticeship period is 50 years. If we only dealt with local species, 10 years might be within the realm of possibility. She was probably still in shock. Elise is always... There she is! Lotus! After her!
Of your beast,
Lotus,
Talamar.
Easy, girl.
So, you managed to teach it some discipline after all. The royal menagerie is closed to the public at the moment. What are you doing here? His Indrik? You mean the royal family's Indrik? Every animal here is property of the crown. He would be wise to remember that. She'll be secured in the inner paddocks until order is restored. This act of sabotage will not be easy to recover from. You claim you arrived after the incident? I believe you. Whoever drugged today's feed supply knew too much about our procedures to have been an outsider. You may go, but I want you off my grounds. Talamar can escort you out, since watching Lotus seems too much for him. Talamar, take your new friend here and get off my grounds. The Rangers will take things from here.
But Lotus... Yes, Conservator. Sorry about all this. I just want you to know that even if the Conservator doesn't appreciate your efforts, I am truly grateful for your help. Conservator Vinalora. She's the appointed curator of the Royal Menagerie. All the keepers and rangers serve at her pleasure. I wouldn't take it personally. She's not one for niceties under the best of circumstances. If she really believes a keeper is responsible for sabotaging the menagerie, I can't say I blame her. I can hardly believe it. Gods, no. I've worked with everyone here for decades. I just hope...
Over here. We need to talk.
Elise? I thought you had already left. What are you doing sulking around here?
I didn't want to get you too involved, but I need help and there's no one else I can turn to. I was the one who drugged the animals. The plan wasn't for them to break loose, just stir up a fuss so I could slip into the conservatory unnoticed. Evidence. The menagerie is a facade. The ugly truth behind Silvarwoad isn't so pretty. There are entire sections blocked off from most of the keepers. People who question Vinalora don't last here. If she claims the animal is a risk of some kind, it's just quarantined in the inner paddock, never to be seen again. Something terrible is going on, and I mean to expose it. Help me prove that. It's going to take a lot more convincing for Talamar, I can tell. I don't know that he'll ever forgive me for the mess I've made here, but maybe you can get him to hear me out? I'm a spy for the Queen. I mean, I was a keeper first, but when the Queen asks you to serve, you serve. She asked me to keep an eye on Vinalora before she left for her coronation, but the Conservator has stonewalled my advancement. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became clear I wasn't going to get into her good graces, I had to improvise. We see how well that turned out. Yeah, I'm not going to let the Queen down. I gave her my word. All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story does. I don't know. More than anything, I want to make sure it wasn't all for nothing. If I can find the proof that Vinalora is abusing these animals, then maybe...
She poisoned all these animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting... I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is... It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora... All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in. But you know there's something going on here, Talamar.
Let's just get this over with. Did you find the keys? I'm feeling exposed out here.
Ew! What's that smell? It's coming from over here. I knew they were up to something here. Smells awful. Alchemical. This equipment isn't incriminating enough on its own, though. Samples, records, a test subject.
Let's hurry. Whatever's going on here.
Hey, what are you reading over there? Whoa, these poor creatures. Let's find out what Vinalora was doing with them. You found something important, didn't you? Vinalora, you piece of... This is everything I need to prove she's been abusing her position here. I have to get this to the Proxy Queen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he deserves to know. Let's find him and get out of here. This should be all I need. Where did Talamar wander off to?
Disobedience doesn't suit you, Talamar. Uncooperative animals don't last long here.
What have you done with Lotus, you monster?
I'd be more concerned for yourself right now. Try something rash, and Talamar will sprout an arrow from the eye. They're a very special beast. Revered, even. As blessed beings who are as graced by the gods as we Ultima. They are a gift to our people, maintaining our natural primacy. What else? The mongrels of Tamriel infest everything, even our unspoiled isles now. But their overgrowth can be curbed. They only need You're in no position to stop me. This enclosure is as strong as a fortress, and these barriers are impenetrable. No! The wards! The Indrics will run wild! Elise, I should have known you'd be behind this!
Good luck containing your experiments. We'll give your regards to the Queen.
This isn't over, mongrel! You'll all pay for this!
Hang on, Talamar. We'll get you out of here.
Damn Vinalora! I can't let her turn Lotus into... It should be me. I'm the closest to family I don't know what to think about that. Finding Lotus... Thank you.
Vinalora must have been more shaken than she looked. She didn't? You can't be serious. There's nothing stopping Lotus from escaping. He's lucky to have found someone as foolish as he is. At least take my ward breaker, in case Vinalora reactivates the key.
Been wanting to see how the latest serum performs in live tests. Let's find out.
She's mad! Run while you can!
Lotus! She's all right! Thank Zephyr! Oh, thank you!
Damn it, Talamar! You're going to reopen that wound.
It's so good to see Lotus alive and well. I couldn't stop thinking of her, scared and injured, or worse. If Vinalora had turned her into some kind of monster, I swear, we should flee before Vinalora and her rangers come after us. Gods, that's terrible. I won't shed tears over Vinalora. She had to be stopped. But I'm so sorry you have her blood on your hands. With the Conservator gone, there's no one in charge of trying to get this place back in order. It'll all come apart by the time the Me? Run the menagerie? I'd love to see it put back the way I remember it. But will it ever be the same now that I know what was really happening here? I could just take Lotus and put all this behind us. Yes, I know myself well enough to know I would be miserable just abandoning this place. I've poured so much of my life into it. Maybe I can do some good here. Change the way these animals are treated. These animals deserve better than to be left to fend for themselves. I owe them that much. I'll do everything I can for them. You have my word. Don't suppose I could declare it a wildlife preserve and leave the animals to roam freely, could I? I'm going to have my work cut out for me getting this place back in order. I'll take Lotus and try to find other survivors who escaped the chaos. Convincing them to return won't be easy, but I'm certain I can get at least a few other keepers and rangers to follow my lead. After that, a whole lot of wrangling. She's gone, and their operation is in shambles. I don't see why they'd stick around. But I'll be sure to burn their research at the first opportunity. Wild Indriks are aggressive towards things they perceive as threats. Even if Vinalora hadn't given them her vile serums, they couldn't have been happy about being penned up like cattle. There may be hope for them, if the legend... It is said that when Indrik die, their souls don't leave Mundus. Instead, Zephyr plants them back into the land to sprout again as reborn fawns. If it's true, you think they remember? Then I do hope they forgive us for her transgressions. I'll do my best to make it up. She endangered every living thing here with the stunt she pulled. It'll be days before we know the final toll of stopping Vinalora. I know Elise did this for the right reasons, but that's what makes it hard. Everything worked out for me. It's not my grudge I'm holding on to.
I was going to recommend that the Queen shut this place down when I gave my report. But if Talamar thinks he can rebuild it into a place where the animals come first, I bet I can make the promotion. I'll head to Alinor to present my findings to the Proxy Queen and send a letter to Queen Irene. After that, I don't know. I'm not really much use to either of them now. I guess a life of tending stables is all I'm really suited for. You think? It was you who wound up doing most of the work. But I guess I suppose I do owe him for the mess I made.
enter a mysterious stranger to a little circle of mystery. Mind the cadaver, or should I say, the cadaver. I am called Drokagir, after my father. He was a man of girth, you see. Mother required some way to separate us, and so the epithet Lesser was given to me. Of course, you'll yes, most ardently so. I've graced many of Sky.
Move along. There's nothing to see here. Wait. You're not one of those divine prosecution types, are you? They call me Sober Storn. And yes, I realize that is an odd name for a Nord. There was another Storn in my village. Stone drunk at all hours of the day. He once fell in a mead tank and had to drink his...
You walk in here on 3 skivers arguing over a dead body and decide you want to chat with one of them? You're either a family squabble of sorts. You see, one of these cozies went and killed Vereda. Problem is, none of us are about to go treasure hunting with a murderer at our back. I'm killing for gold. You don't stop at... Ancestor of ours, Jardir the Keelhauler, cached her loot around here. If you grab the chest for us, there's no chance for a sneak attack. The map over there will lead you right to it. And now, I know what you're probably thinking. Look at these squabbling fools. Why don't I just take the treasure myself? Tough like that. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget. You saw my face, right? I got bit by a rat. It was a big rat. Don't worry, it's dead. She was an explorer. Sailed from Atmora all the way to Yakura, despite half her crew falling mad along the way. She discovered new lands, new cultures. Shame so few hear of her. Her greatest adventure was raiding... Right you are. Fled Piandanea after, quick as a flash. Pa said the whole Miramore fleet came after her. Eventually, they chased her right to this cove. She fled to the shore, clutching us. The blood of my blood willingly given. That's how the enchantment goes.
Please, be careful where you step. Please.
So? Huh. I always imagined it a tad bigger. Well, if it's stuffed with diamonds, I guess it doesn't much matter. Now, let's see what we're working with here.
Can't you bleed any faster, Igeki? Indeed. My being roils with anticipation.
What the? There's just a scroll in here. I sailed across many seas and raided many ships, but the most precious treasure is family. May you see the wisdom in these words.
What? I came all this way for nothing? I can't believe I poisoned Vereda for a stupid scroll!
Hold a moment. You killed Vereda? But I was the one who strangled her right after she fell asleep.
Neither of you are making any sense. I stabbed her right after we doused the fire.
Wait, did we all kill Vereda to get a bigger share of the treasure?
Ha! I suppose betrayal runs in the family. To think that Jadil, I am called Droka. To think that next. Why, I think I'll hop over to Relenthal, show my talents off, see what happens. Honestly, the mystery of Vereda's death, the tension between us all, and then the grand reveal that there was no...
I can't believe I ever looked up to this loony crone. To think she would trick us all just for some stupid moral lesson. I just hope such lunacy doesn't run in the family. An explorer? No. I wanted to be a filthy rich pirate captain. I was going to use the treasure to put together a ship and crew. But then a life of scrubbing decks and taking orders. No, thanks. You know, killing Vereda was pretty easy. Maybe I'll join the Dark Brother.
I suppose that's why Jadil gave up a life of piracy. She decided a loving family was more important. I doubt it. Jadil probably did this to bring her descendants closer. Companions. I regret going through the trouble. It's easy to feel sympathy for a corpse, but trust me, if you had known Vereda, you would understand. It's no coincidence.
I think I figured a way out.